So I need to, we have a quiz tomorrow, yes. I will say that, so there would be a problem similar to number 1 on this review sheet, but it might be like number 3 on the quiz. Does that make sense? So it doesn't line up exactly, but if you search, you can get the majority of similar types of problems. So you write down whatever you would like on that review sheet. So understand this situation? You can use that review sheet on tomorrow's quiz. Deal? Sound good? All right. Yeah, you can keep it on your desk. And all right. So our first one is root 40. All we want to do is we want to break this down. I will have the square roots listed for you on the very back page, but in case you didn't remember them, do you all feel comfortable with this? Adrian, there's review sheets up on there. If you grab one, you can use it on the quiz tomorrow. So that means, what's my answer got to be once we get to that point? 2 square root of 10. Good. And then I will tell you on the quiz, there would probably be a box down at the lower right-hand corner that you just write the answer in. Okay? Any questions there? Then we're going to go to number 2. So I get 3 root 27 plus 5 root 12. So we have to break each one down individually. My friends, what does 27 break down to where one of them is a perfect square? 3 and 9. Very good. And then what does 12 break down being one of them is a perfect square? 3 and 4, right? Or 4 and 3? Is that still okay? All right, so friends, what's the square root of 9? 3. So then I'm going to get 9 root 3. Let me stop there for, helps when I write the right answer down. Do you see why that became 9? Okay. And then this one, square root of 4 is 2, so 2 comes out. So what do I have out in front on this one?
I thought you could have multiplied inside and outside.
When you take the square root, if it's a perfect square, this perfect square comes out. So here I'm gonna get 10 root 3, and then let me finish that, and then I'm gonna go back to your question. Okay. So that's what our answer would be. Now here's what's taking place with this problem. Okay, this is like just a side note, a little bit extra work. So 3 times 9 plus 5, 3 root 4 is technically the same thing as 3 times root 3 times root 9, and then 5 times root 3 times root 4. Is that okay? The square root of 9 is 3, so I get 3 times 3 root 3. The square root of 4 is 2, so I get 5 times 2 root 3. And then 9 root 3 and 10 root 3. That's the math that's taken place to allow us to do. So no, you're absolutely right. I cannot multiply inside and outside. You're totally right. But if I have a perfect square and I take the square root, I do the operation of it, it becomes an outside. Make sense? All right, we good on numbers 1 and 2? Feel good, comfortable, happy? Obviously, off to the right on number 2 is the extended version of what's taken place. So if you want to write that down, you can. I'll give you another couple seconds to get that down and feel good about it. Does anybody need more time there? Good in the hood? Sebastian, you good? Yeah. All right. Next page, number 3. So this is multiplication. So with multiplication, we multiply outside the radicals to get negative 6, and then we multiply inside the radicals to get this. Okay? Now, I would say the one on the test will probably work the same way. The only time you don't want to really multiply that out is if underneath the radical becomes like a big 3 or 4 digit number, then you want to see if you can start breaking it down. So I think, what do you think 40 should break down to where one of them is a perfect square? 4 and 10? Yeah, because 10 is not going to break down any further. But what is the square root of 4? 2. So I get this, which then gives me this. Okay? Somebody's whistling out in the hall. Problem number 4. Number 4 kind of caught a lot of people off guard. And you're going to be like, oh, really? That's all? Now, I think we forgot to put a radical sign in there. But what is this right here going to give me? -1, right? And then if I distribute -1 over, I'm going to get -5 minus √5. Okay? A lot of people are trying to FOIL that out, double distribute. But realize if it just comes out nice and neat, yay, life is good.
So wait, if we put -12√10 as our answer, then we would get like half
Number 3?
Yeah, on this one.
-12√10 is our answer.
Oh, never mind. I don't know.
And that's, I had 2 problems I posted up there. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's good. I wasn't clear. Friends, can I move forward? Everyone's good? Going once, twice? Sold to the kid eating his own earwax. Okay, so this one is just linear. So I'm going to distribute here. And then I'm going to combine my like terms here. And then I just need to get x by itself. So I'm going to add 4x to both sides. And then I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. So that cancels and that cancels. That gives me 2x equals -7. Divide by 2. So x equals -7 over 2. So that's just 5th or 6th week Algebra 1 first semester problem. Agree? There's not a squared term, so we don't have to use the quadratic formula. All right. Feeling good? Time is good. We're good to go. All right, number 6. It says we can use whatever method we want. I don't know if I would use the quadratic formula on this one. And the reason I probably wouldn't use the quadratic formula on this one is we're plugging -400 in for a C value, so we're getting something astronomically huge. So what's another way to do this? What's a general way to do this one? What do you think? Yeah, let's add 400 to both sides. I like it. So those cancel. Divide each side by 4. Now, you want to know where I'm going to get you on this problem? Yeah. So, if I do root to both sides, what can I not forget? What's square root of 100? But I took the square root of both sides, so what should you not forget? The plus minus. Good. So, I'm going to put a little note. Maybe you put this on yours. When I root both sides, don't forget plus minus. Uh-oh, someone's peeking in. Adrian, there's a review up there on that counter. Grab it. All right. Emmanuel, I'm sorry.
Wow.
You know me. I fell off the ladder and hit my head earlier. All right. Do we feel comfortable up through number 6? We are on our adventure. Reviewing for this. Problem number 7. 2x squared minus 50 equals 0. So is this one that we should use the quadratic formula on, or should I just try and solve it? Yeah. Try and solve it. I don't have just the x term, so add 50 to both sides. Those cancel. Divide by 2. Root. Don't forget the plus or minus. If you forget the plus minus, it's 1 point off. Okay? Now, don't be the kid that puts plus or minus with every problem. You only put plus minus when you root both sides, or you're using the quadratic formula. All right. Can I go to number 8? We good? Number 8. It says, hey, we want to factor it. Now, some of you might be feeling pretty good about factoring, but some of you are like, you know what? We use this quadratic formula, so I'm going to use the quadratic on it. Good so far? And we know our song, which the quadratic formula will be given to you. It's on this sheet, and it's also on your thing, so we don't have to sing the song, so don't worry. X is equal to negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. What did I do? The b is? Woo! Thank you. Do what?
I didn't think it was. It says solved by factor. I didn't think it was solved by quadratic.
So it's going to be your choice. If you feel you wanted to factor it, how about I do it both ways? Okay? So I'll do the quadratic formula first, and then I'll solve by factoring. You use your best judgment. I'm not going to mark it wrong if you do the quadratic versus factoring, okay? So x equals negative blank plus or minus square root blank squared minus 4 blank blank all over 2 blank, 169. All right, so what goes in the first blank? There's not even a 7 up there.
If you subtract 13 by 2.
13?
Yeah, you get that.
And then here's a 13. And then here's a 2. And then here's a 20. And here's a 2. Don't forget the negative. Shh. 13 times 13. You'll have a calculator for tomorrow. I hope you do.
What's tomorrow?
Quiz.
Oh.
All right. So let's go through this. Let's see. Negative 4 times 2. Negative 4 times 2. Negative 8. Negative 8 times 20. Negative 160. Good. All over 4. So I get negative 13. Ooh, I have 2 plus or minuses for some reason because can't take stirrup anywhere. All right, so that gives me root 9 over 4. So negative 13 plus or minus 3 over 4. So that's negative 13 plus 3 over 4, which gives me negative 10 over 4, which is negative 5 over 2. And it's negative 13 minus 3 over 4 is negative 16 over 4, which is negative 4. So there's my 2 answers. Now, if you chose to factor this, we'll squeeze it in. So I'm going to go 2x squared plus 13x plus 20 equals 0. So it's your choice how you want to do it. So I'm getting positive 40. Both signs have to be positive. So the factors of 40 that add to 13 are going to be 5 and 8. So I get 2x squared plus 5x plus 8x. Oh, shoot. Come on, go away. Go away. Go away. All right. Let's see. 8x plus 20. I have those in common, so I have an x, and then that's going to be 2x plus 5. Factor on 4. And that's going to give me 2x plus 5. So I get 2x plus 5 equals 0, and x plus 4 equals 0. Solve both of these. Subtract 5. Divide by 2. And then this one is x equals negative 4, which are the 2 answers. So whichever way you choose to do it, it's your choice. So I solved it 2 different ways. I solved it by factoring, or I solved it by the quadratic. All right, moving on to number 9. Number 9. Well, you missed a few days, so I've already recorded for you, so you got some videos to watch.
Oh, wait, you heard that? I was just joking.
So solve by the quadratic. Whoa. Solve by the quadratic. So A equals 5, B equals 2, C equals -1, X equals negative blank plus or minus square root of blank squared minus 4 blank blank all over 2 blank. So X equals negative B plus or minus B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. 4 squared, or 2 squared is 4. And then making sure we do the math right. -4 times 5 is -20. -20 times -1 is +20.
Why is this even a thing?
You missed an awful lot. When you miss school and you don't watch the videos, you get behind. All right, friends, if you get to here, you're going to miss 1 point. Why do I say you miss 1 point if you get to here? Because I didn't simplify it. Okay, so I'm going to take this, and we're going to put it in this box up here. Root 24 breaks down to 4 times 6, which is 2 root 6. So I'm going to replace this with that. So I'm going to get -2 plus or minus, or x equals, 2 root 6 over 10. Friends, if you don't reduce it, and it can reduce, you're going to miss a half a point. So all of that's outside. 2 goes into everything. So 2 goes into itself once, 2 goes into itself once, 2 goes into 10 5 times. So I get -1 plus or minus root 6 over 5. And there's my answer. You can't go any further. Leave it just like that. We good in the hood? May I move on? The what? What color are you looking at? Blue? Root 24? On the right side of the screen? So I got the root 24 breaks down to 4 root 6, which is 2 root 6. So then I replace, for root 24, I plug 2 root 6 in. So this here goes in for this then. Okay? Ready, friends? Number 10. 3x squared minus 2x minus 1 equals 0. A equals 3. B equals -2. C equals -1. X equals negative blank plus or minus square root of blank squared minus 4 blank blank all over 2 blank. So my B value is -2. I get -2 squared. 3, -1 all over 2 times 3. So places where errors will take place up here. Error takes place here a lot. Error also takes place here a lot. Okay, so realize this becomes a positive. This becomes a +4. And then I go -4 times 3 is -12 plus 12 over 6 plus or minus root 16 over 6. X equals 2 plus root 16 should be 4. So x equals 2 plus 4 over 6, which is going to give me 6 over 6, which is 1. There's one answer. And x equals 2 minus 4 over 6, which is -2 over 6, which is -1/3. There's my 2 answers. Backside. All good still? Still got time? Number 11. Number 11. 2x squared plus 3x plus 5 equals 0. Quadratic formula. Let's see, my a value is 2, my b value is 3, my c value is 5. X equals negative blank plus or minus square root of blank squared minus 4 blank blank all over 2 blank. So let's fill in our blanks. 3, 3, 2, 5. 2. Shh. Negative 3 plus or minus. Don't forget the negative. 9. All right, let's do the math here. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. Negative 8 times 5. Negative 8 times 5 is negative 8 times 5 is negative 40. All right. So 31 will not break down. But what have I said that needs to take place when you have this negative here? What should I do if I have that negative there? Negative under the radical, I put a letter. What letter? I. I root 31 over 4. That problem's done. Still good? You good? Where you stuck? What? You can't say all of it. I bet you there's some of it you get. Well, I get where to put my name. All right, number 12. 2x squared minus 4x minus 7 equals 0. A equals 2. B equals negative 4. C equals negative 7. X equals negative blank plus or minus square root of blank squared minus 4 blank blank all over 2 blank. All right, so I have a negative 4. I have a negative 4. I have a 2. I have a negative 7 all over 2. Okay, don't make the error here. That's going to give me a positive 4. Don't make an error here. That's going to give me a positive 16. Okay, it's all going to be over 4. So let's do the arithmetic. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. Negative 8 times 7. Negative 8 times 7 is positive 56. Let's see, that's 2, carry the 1, 72 over 4. Ooh, okay. So root 72, we're going to break down up here. Root 72, oops. 72. Let's think about our perfect squares. This will be listed on the back page if you can't find them. It is 8 times 9. You're absolutely right. I think there's one bigger, though. 36, yeah. All right, so root 72 falls here. 36 times 2. You start from your line and move up on your calculator. Go 72 divided by 64. Nope. 49 divided by, or 72 divided by 49. Nope. 72 divided by 36. Yep. So this right here is going to give me an answer of 6 root 2. So this here will replace this whole thing here. Okay, so let's bring it up here. X equals 4 plus or minus 6 root 2 all over 4. All of the items outside, here, here, and here can be reduced by 2. 2 goes in there, 2 goes in there, 2 goes in there. So x equals 2 plus or minus 3 root 2 all over 2. And that is my answer. 6 problems left. 18 minutes to go. 3 minutes per question. I feel like I did that mental math.
That's why you're not doing really good.
Oh, don't hold that against me. All right, number 13. X squared equals x plus 20. I cannot solve this one at this point. Why not? It's not equal to 0, so I'm going to subtract those from both sides. That's going to give me x squared minus x minus 20 equals 0. This is one that you probably could factor. You could use the quadratic on it as well. But I'm going to go x and x. I know I have one positive, one negative. So negative 20, one being positive, one being negative, that adds to negative 1. What factors of 20 would add to negative 1? So it's going to negative 5x and a positive 4x. Agree? Okay, so I'm going to get negative 5 here, positive 4 here, and then I could solve it. Add 5. If you use the quadratic on it, you'd get the same exact answers. Can I go to 14? Again, the quadratic would have worked just fine on that one. You'd have to have your a value be 1, your b value be negative 1, your c value be negative 20. It would have worked out the same way. I'm not going to work it out. I've done it a few times, so you should be all right. Number 14. Again, friends, can I start solving this one as it sits like it does now? No. I need to add 7x, add 2, add 7x, add 2. So I'm going to get 3x squared plus 7x plus 2 equals 0. They want us to solve by factoring. I'm not a big fan of that because I have a value of 3. So my a value is 3, b value is 7, c value is 2. X equals negative blank plus or minus square root of blank squared minus 4 blank blank all over 2 blank. And let's plug our values in. 7, 7, 3, 2, 3. So I'm going to get x equals, don't forget that it's negative 7 now. And I get 49. And let's do this. That's negative 24, or negative 12, negative 24. Over 6. So x equals negative 7 plus or minus 49. Minus 24 is 25. What's the square root of 25, my friends? 5. And then we can do the math. So x equals negative 7 plus 5 over 6, which is negative 2 over 6, which is negative 1/3. And then x equals negative 7 minus 5 over 6 is negative 12 over 6, which is negative 2. That worked nicely. Oh, 15. You ready? Ready? Going to sleep. All right, I hear you. Okay, this one I would not use a quadratic formula on. I would go and solve it like normal. Add 100, add 100. Those cancel, so 2x squared equals 200. Divide by 2, divide by 2. X squared equals 100. Root, don't forget the plus or minus what?
10.
10. Giddy up. You could use the quadratic formula on those. If you allowed your b value to be 0, it should work. It will work. Number 16. X squared plus 5x minus 5 equals 0. If you don't see it factoring right away, that's fine. So a equals 1, b equals 5, c equals negative 5. X equals negative blank plus or minus square root blank squared minus 4 blank blank all over 2 blank. So 5, 5, 1, negative 5, and 1. 25 squared That's going to give me -4. -4 times -5 is +20. So x equals -5 plus or minus root 45 over 2. If you leave it like that, you're missing a point. So realize that root 45 we can do up here. Root 45 is going to break down to 9 and 5, which is 3 root 5. So I'm going to replace 3 root 5. This is going to go in for here. And then, let's see, -5 plus or minus 3 root 5 over 2. That will not reduce. That's my answer. Almost done. And again, you got to use anything on this sheet. This is all recorded. So and it's on YouTube, so you can increase the speed of it to make sure you feel good about it. Number 17, x squared minus 8x minus 20 equals 0. You might want to try to factor this one. So I get x and x. I have one positive, one negative. So I get -20. One's positive, one's negative. What factors of 20 would add up to -8? And that would be a -10 and a +2. So -10, +2, set those equal to 0. There's one answer. Add 10. There's my second answer. And the last problem, which I have 11 whole minutes to work on. Squeeze it right here. -7x squared plus 28 equals 0. Solve it. Subtract 28, subtract 28. So you get -7x squared equals -28. Divide by -7. Divide by -7. So I get x squared equals 4. Root, don't forget the plus or minus. There's my answer. And that, my friends, is everything you could ever have wanted to know about this. Anything you write on this sheet can be used for tomorrow's quiz. It's all recorded, so you can watch the recording. The recording should be done in about 30 minutes.